Okay, let's do some yoga.
So this is the yoga sequence specifically for runners, and then we're just gonna add in a little bit of work for the outer and inner parts of the thighs, just to get some flexibility, and this is for my football, soccer players. First thing we're gonna start with, this is just called sun salutations, and you can include it when you're on the football field or the soccer field or getting ready for any type of run or sport. So we're gonna start just by a nice reach up. Inhale. As you exhale, you're trying to get your back as flat as possible, okay? And then just to see where your hamstring flexibility is. A lot of runners, our hamstrings just get really, really tight. So just get to wherever you get to. Press your hands into your shins, flatten your back as much as you can, pull your belly button in, and then allow yourself to go a little bit deeper. And then inhale all the way back up. Good. Another version of this would just be standing, hip bow forward. Allow your upper body to relax, but keep your legs really active. Squeeze your legs together and then release your torso from your ribs and just let it fall over. Good. And then exhale up, give yourself a little lift, and then do it again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Good. Release the legs a little bit. Now activate them. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Good. Now inhale all the way back up. So I guess there are 3 hamstrings. So we want to make sure we work all of them. So you can do this with a couple different leg positions. And this is a form of P&F stretching. So you'll notice yourself getting deeper and deeper with each round. So with the legs closest together, you're going to get this upper part of the glutes active, and you're going to stretch inside of the hamstrings. Then as you widen your feet about shoulder width apart, as you go down, what you'll feel is that now the weight has distributed a little bit lower in the glutes. And as you move down, what you'll notice is there's a different sensation in the hamstring. So you can do the same little thing on keeping the legs active and trying to relax the upper body. Inhale up, exhale down. Relax the upper body. Inhale up, flat back, exhale down. Relax the upper body. I like to do this in about rounds of 5. Give one more. Then you're going to widen the feet wider than shoulder width. And we'll do it again. So inhale. Again, you can come to that flat back just by hinging at the hips. And this time you might actually feel it on the outside of the hamstrings. You'll also feel it in a different place on the glutes. Exhale down. Release your head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And you'll notice you don't have to hold these for very long to make them effective. Inhale up. Exhale down. You just want to keep the lower body active and try to relax the upper body as you fall over. See if you can get your ribs to lift up and away from your hip bones. Good, last one. Good, then come all the way back up. That's for your hamstrings. I like to start with my left foot forward, but you can choose either one that you wish. So inhale, lift. Good, hands back to the hips for stability. This is a little bit of balance training. So you're gonna step that foot as far forward as you can to find this lunge shape. Good, so yours might be more like this, or if you're really flexible, you might be down like this. Go with wherever you are. Also, if you notice you're starting to get any pain in the knee, widen your stance. So get your feet further apart. On this one, we're gonna move dynamically. So the back heel is up. We are actually in a runner's lunge. You want your knee as much of a 90-degree angle as you can. If you're really tight, you might find yourself up here, which is perfectly fine. So inhale. You're gonna lift up through that back heel and then exhale down. Remember that you can breathe in and out of your nose, or you can bring in your nose and out your mouth. In through your nose and out through your nose creates a lot of heat in the body. So if it's cold, or you're not feeling very warm, if you breathe out through your mouth, it's gonna pull you down a little bit. Okay, so you do 5 rounds of that. You're gonna ground that back foot. So you're gonna turn it out so your toes are at like a 45-degree angle. Heel is down. Again, you might notice that your lunge doesn't go as far, and that's fine. Bring the arms out, and then we're gonna straighten up at the top and exhale down. It looks very similar, but it feels very different. And a lot of people ask me, when do I inhale? When do I exhale? Do I inhale on the bottom? Do I exhale on the bottom? A good rule of thumb is to inhale on what would be your exertion, which is very opposite to some other schools of thought as far as weight training. It actually helps your body to relax as you move through these movements. So whatever your exertion is, so for me it's gonna go down. So I'm gonna inhale. And then as I exhale, it's very relaxing. Inhale down, exhale up. So whichever one feels harder, that's where you inhale. Okay, then we're gonna switch over to Warrior 2. So Warrior 2, you're gonna pivot your foot, so instead of it being at a 45-degree, it's gonna be pointing towards the long side of your mat. Your front leg stays the same, but you open through the hips this way, and then you open your chest the same direction. So a lot of times, if you're tight through the inner thighs, you're gonna notice that this front knee wants to come with you. So I just recommend pushing a lot of weight into the pinky toe and the big toe of that front foot, and then push the weight back into the pinky toe unless you have an unstable ankle. In that case, big toe of the back foot. Okay, so from here we're gonna sink back down, arms come out to a T, our chest facing the same side of the mat as our hips. I inhale on the bottom because it's my exertion. I exhale to relax. Inhale, down, exhale, up. Inhale, down, sink in, exhale, up. Inhale, down, exhale, up. Inhale, down, exhale, up. Ooh. All right, now from here with your legs straight, your legs are gonna stay exactly the same. Come back out to that T, and you're gonna push that back hip backwards in space, like you're trying to touch a wall behind you with that right cheek. And then the left hand is gonna drop down anywhere that it can touch on the left leg, and the right arm is gonna reach up towards the sky. And they're gonna find the same T, but now you're like a tea kettle that's tipped over. Now the biggest thing is you wanna make sure there's not a lot of weight in this lower hand. So if your inner thighs or your knee is not strong enough for that, just give a little bend to the knee and work on this right side of the body lifting and this right glute engaging, or the back glute, and then really pressing the chest open between these two arms. So this lower arm is actually pressing into the front leg. And you're gonna rotate as much as you can your chest open, so add a couple little pulses so you can reach the top hand up and then come back down. Reach up. Woo, and you're gonna feel that on that front hamstring for sure. All right, now let's add the little side-to-side movements. This is for our football players, soccer players, sports where you're kind of making more of these side-to-side movements. Just gonna start by bending into one knee, pick one side, and then the other. And try to keep the torso straight. So a good way to do this is to bring those arms back out to a T. If you need to, you can bring them to the hips if that feels more stable. One thing I want you to notice, if you're noticing that your pelvis is tucking way out, your booty is like kind of staying up in the air, then what you want to do is like tuck it forward. So you're kind of rolling that whole bowl forward and widen the legs. Okay, that just means that you've got a lot of tension going on there. Good, so here again, we're just gonna side to side. Good, if this is really feeling good to you, you can also shift what I call windmills, where you bring the same side hand down to the outside of the same side knee, and the opposite hand reaches up towards the sky. This just gives you a little bit more stability. Good, we're gonna do about 5 on each side. And then I want you to turn your toes inward. So this is gonna get the IT bands, which are just ligaments, really. But we have to stretch those little muscles that are on the knees, hips. And this one, we got our toes pointed in, kind of pigeon-toed. Our legs are still comfortably wide. Good, and from here, we're gonna hinge forward, just like we did with hamstring exercises. And reach with the earth, drop your head, and then come back up. So flat back, exhale down. You can also lift through the big toes if that feels better. Lift, exhale down. Lift up, exhale down. Lift up, exhale down. If you can reach your hands to the earth, great. If you can't, just come up onto your fingertips, or you can bend the knees a lot until you can reach your hands down. Make sure your toes stay pigeon-toed. Good, so bend into the right knee, and then bend into the left knee. And you'll notice which one you can't bend into as much. There are imbalances throughout our entire body. It's just, comes with sports, comes with life, comes with activity. Just take your time on each side, really opening everything up. Good, and then keep the knees bent as you put your hands on your knees and just slowly roll your body up. Now I want you to tuck your spine in towards your back and roll your head. It's a little standing cat and cow. And then release your belly, but not all the way that you feel swayed open like a cow. You just want to come to neutral. And then you're gonna tuck in, you're gonna round the spine, drop the head, and come back to neutral. Good, one more time. And neutral. And if it feels good to you, do a couple more times. Exhale as you squeeze. Inhale as you release on this one. We come to our feet are facing the long edge of the mat, so they're straight toes here. Just like we did with triangle, push into that hip, lean just a little bit open through that top shoulder. Ay, 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 this will definitely get your glutes. Lean, like you're trying to touch a wall with that hip, and then open through that front shoulder. Front knee. So now we're coming into a low runner's lunge. So your back heel will lift back up, come back onto the toes of your back foot. See if you can reach just as far down as you can, getting as much length in your runner's lunge as you can. Maybe you can only bring the opposite hand to the floor from your front knee, or maybe you can bring both of them. Wherever you are, place the weight into the hand that's opposite to the front leg. So if your left leg is forward, it's your right hand. And you'll reach the same side arm up towards the sky, opening to a twist, which you're gonna feel in your glutes, you're gonna feel in your hamstrings, you're gonna feel in your hip flexors, you're probably gonna feel in your ankles. And from here, you can actually move dynamically, pushing that back foot so that you're kind of rocking forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And then bring both hands down. Step your left foot back or your front foot back, finding a plank. Good, and this is where our core stability comes in. So really squeezing up and in from the belly button to the back, so like a little sandwich. And then pull the ribs together and then relax the shoulders just a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then begin to walk the hands back towards the toes. And this is a great place for you to gauge the hamstrings one more time. you get started with your run or your game or whatever, I think it's a great idea. Do a little bit of energy tapping. This also helps with blood circulation and loosening up the muscles, tendon attachments. So we're gonna start at the thighs. And you're just gonna go up and down those big muscles of the thighs. Make sure you get into the hip. So push your hips forward. So you really just kind of move some of that tissue. Then the outside of the legs, you can squeeze your inner thighs together as you do this. Go all the way down to the knees, so get that entire IT band. Good, you may have to do one leg at a time. You're gonna get the back, and when I do this, I like to have a little lean, and I squeeze up and in so my hamstrings are really activated. You also wanna get your glutes. They're a huge muscle group. And then of course, the other side. Activate, squeeze. And there's no amount of time that's too much for this, I don't think. I like to do a little bit on the lower back, going up to the ribs if I can reach them. You can do a little bit in the abdominals if you want to activate that. And then coming just behind the knees, so right here in this little curve of the knees, you're just going to tap. And just the fact that you're leaning over will activate that area down into the calves, the outsides of the calves, the front of the shins, and down into the ankles. Last place is inner thigh, especially if you're doing football or soccer. So for this, to activate it, you're gonna press down into your big toes and your inner arch. People might think you're weird doing this. Man, this makes no sense. Ta-da! You're just gonna do those movements a count of 5. You're gonna breathe out on your exertion or your hardest part. Just focus either on breathing in or breathing out once you get the rhythm. Okay, so here's the quickie version if you ever need it right before sport. Ready? Start in the wide stance. Inhale up. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Move the feet in. That's for me the easiest. Inhale. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Next one, wide leg. Ooh, this one's tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now we're going to start the series. So from here, you're going to step whichever leg you want forward. Let's do that. Good, back heels up, so you're in this runner's lunge. That's 5. Good, back heel down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Warrior 2. Open the hips. Remember, ground through that front foot so your knee doesn't come in with you. So remember, inhale on wherever your exertion point, wherever your hardest point is. Try to activate through those arms and get a nice little arm stretch too. Good, straighten the legs, goes out. Windmill down to your triangle. Give yourself a little twist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're gonna go side to side. Right, so widen to whatever's comfortable. Toes face out first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Toes go forward. Pop it out. Lean it over, or you can just take the shoulder. Ooh. Now you're gonna feel this all the way down there. And probably in the shin as well. Gonna come all the way up, cuck. Hip goes out. Open to that shoulder. And these you can also do dynamically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got more time? You tell these bad boys. 10 each. Remember, breathing through the nose creates heat. Breathing through the nose and exhaling through the mouth will cool you down. Never a bad idea to do these after an activity as well. Hip goes out. Woo, tea kettle. Yeah, and you'll notice right off the cuff here, this one, I can't go as far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did just get a really nice pop there. You're tapping. I like to just go ahead and hit everything as I'm working my way down. Stay in any areas that need a little more help. My knees are always a fun spot. All those years of soccer. The back, make sure you get your glutes. Big muscles there. Make sure you get inner thigh.